Hey, how are ya? So part 2 of the One Eye Cat Studio here, Memramcook, New Brunswick, Canada. So that's the drum kit that I use for practice and recording. This is a Pearl. It's a little bit of a mix of different drum kit. I got some Pearl Prestige Studio, I got some Pearl Session Studio, and I got a floor tom which is a Pearl Vision. The different model if you want, but all of them, all the shell are 6 plies of birch, so they're all 6 layers or 6 plies of birch. So that's pretty much a standard kit that I've been playing for years. So it's 1 bass drum with a double pedal, 2 toms, a 10 and a 12, and 2 floor toms, a 14 and a 16. So 14 by 14, 16 by 16, 10 by 8, 12 by 8, and the bass drum is 22 by 16. So as for the snare drums, well, now I got a Gretsch as a snare drum that I bought in LA maybe a year and a half ago, last time we were there. And I got a bunch of other snare here, some that I still use, some I don't, like this one. This is a Ludwig Vistalite from the 70s. So that snare drum is old and you don't have much of them anymore. So I don't use it often because it's extremely loud too. So I don't really use it. And that one here, well, it's a very cheap one. It's a Westbury 14 by 8 inches. I keep that one because I bought that snare like maybe 37 years ago, 38 years ago, something like that. So that's an old snare drum that I bought like a long time ago, and I still keep it. I don't use it. I just keep it because it's my old drum snare drum. That's all. I got a Yamaha here, steel drum, 16 by 14. I got the free floating system Pearl here, 6.5 by 14, 6.5 by 14. I got the old Ludwig 14 by 5. I got a small Pearl here, wood 5 to 14 by 5. I got the Mapex here, steel 14 by 5.5. Another Ludwig steel drum, 14 by 5. And I got the Pacific, which is 10 plies of maple and maple hoops. They're not metal hoops, and it's 14 by 5.5 too, I think. So this is pretty much a bunch of snare drum that I use. Depends what I need for, but usually the last Shades of Sorrow album, I basically record all the drums with that snare drum and this one here. Those are the 2 that I recorded all the tracks on the last album by Shades of Sorrow. They sound really good when they're mic'd, they're deeper snare, so they sound really good. So that's pretty much the drum kit that I use. Oh, and there's my live kit too. The live kit that I use is basically a Pearl, same setup, but I got part of the drum kit here. Ooh, see, it's the Crystal Beat series. So acrylic, red acrylic drum. So like I said, I got the 10 by 7 12 by 8, 14 by 14, 16 by 16, and the bass drum, which is 22 by 16, but all pearl crystal bead red acrylic for the live show that we play. Well, we used to play before COVID-19, but now we're kind of on a standstill like a lot of other bands. But anyway, it is what it is. So that's it. So that's the drum kit. And okay, so equipment. I did talk about the drums earlier, but we didn't look at the stands. So the stands are, I got different brand, but mostly are pearl. The pedals, double pedal is a pearl. The new hi-hat stand is a Mapex. So I bought the Mapex, the 2 legs Mapex, because the pearl was really expensive, really good stand, but they were really expensive, and I could not afford. So I went for the Mapex because quality and price was dead on. Other than that, I got different pearl stand. If you notice, one thing is that I play with a lot of cymbals. Almost pretty much all of them are Sabian. I got a couple of, I got a Splash, a Zildjian here, and the other remote hi-hat here is a Sabian. Zildjian, sorry, Zildjian, but all the rest is Sabian. Different line, the B8 Pros, the XSR, the AAX Metal Ride. I got different series, and APX, which is discontinued, which is a shame because they sounded really good. The XS, that is discontinued too. They replace it by the XSR, which a really good cymbal. It's they sound really good, and the price is really reasonable. So if you notice, I got a lot of cymbals and a lot of drums and stuff like that, but I don't have a lot of stands that are actually touching the floor. If you look at that stand, basically that stand holds a China Type, a Crash, and a Splash. That stand here is holding the 2 toms and the 2 Crash at the top. The stand here is holding the Ride, 22 inches AAX Metal Ride Sabian, and it holds that China Type, and that stands here is holding a Crash, another Crash, and the remote hi-hat. So basically the secret here is a lot of clamps. All clamps here, you clamp your stuff. There we go. Clamps. Clamps here. So try to get clamps. Clamps. Another clamps here that holds the 2 toms. So basically I works with clamps because it's way much better carrying. But because when you install the clamp, you just leave it there. You just take the cymbal off and maybe a boom stand, but you leave the clamp there, you close the leg of the stand, and then boom, you throw it in your gig bag, and that's it. So it's always better having a bunch of clamps that having to carry a stand for each and every cymbals or tom that you have, you know. So this way I can keep it really simple, really compact when it gets time to get for a gig, because although even if I got another kit for my gigs, I didn't buy everything in double, so I have to bring the cymbals and most of the stand. The the tom stand here that I got here, that stand, I got another stand like that one in my gig bag. So the only thing I do is that I take the two booms here for these crash and the crash, and that's it. The rest of the stand, the rest of the drums stay here, and pretty much I bring all the other stands and stuff like that. So I want to make sure that I can actually pack it and set up really quick. So imagine all that drum kit when I'm playing. Of course, like I said, the drum kit, everything that is blue doesn't come with me. I got the other drum kit for that. But setting up a kit like this one at a gig takes me about 30 to 35 minutes all by myself, which is pretty good. You know, if you think about it, there's a lot of cymbals and it's a fairly big drum kit, but it only takes me about 35 minutes set it up when I go for a gig. That's because I make sure that I'm extremely organized, and those clamps that stays on the stand is really easy. I got some color tape around some stand, so I know that that stand goes, that let's say that boom stand goes on that stand, and you know, I know where everything is going just by taking the stand out of the gig bag. I know where it's going and how it should be set up. So it's that simple. Being organized is the key. You don't want to get you don't want to be late at a gig, and you don't want to chew time setting up your stuff. You want to do it quick, and that give more time for the sound check actually. So that's it. So that's the thing with the stands on the drums. Again, if you have some question, you can send me some question and I'll answer them. Thank you. Bye bye.